Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, 8 o'clock Central, talk about strategies, tips, share success stories, and support each of you. Today, we're going to go back and look at the same graphic that we discussed yesterday. But when we discussed it yesterday, it was almost a role play. What we did is we spent around 20, 23 minutes, whatever it was, and put together a presentation that is ready for you to use. Now, you certainly could re-record it in your voice and spin it the way you want, but it's ready to use. And that's what we were hearing from a number of you. Provide you a ready-to-use tool that describes the benefits to the prospect, to your prospects. It's not completely white labeled, but it's generic enough that I think any of you could use it. So if you weren't on yesterday's training, you may want to go back and view it. We've actually put that YouTube on the homepage of Chapman Loan Program, which is here at the bottom, the link. So yesterday's presentation was how to present this to a prospective client. And even better yet, you could use it without even recreating it if you wanted something fast, simple, and ready to use. Today, we're going to change the scope and talk about the same graphic, but from your perspective. All of you are CEOs, chief executive officers of your branches. You're running a business, should be $1 million a year business. We should be helping clients build financial literacy and access capital. This tool, this graphic, this one pager, I think is probably the best thing that you could use to be able to explain what we do. So let's go back through this today, but look at it from your perspective, which it doesn't conflict with the client's perspective, but we wanted yesterday's presentation to really be canned and ready for you to share with prospects. Today, we'll talk about some strategies that you might want to consider. So why do we need this graphic? Well, because you need clients. If you want a profitable branch, you have to have clients. You're not going to have profitability in any business without clients. And my relationship is built around your branch office. So if the goal for your branch is to make money and to help people, we need clients. Well, what does it take to get clients? Well, we have a solution to the problem that a lot of entrepreneurs have. That problem is typically they need money. They want money to start or grow a business. So that's the problem they have. Now, is it so simple that we just grab them by the hand and we walk into Wells Fargo and get them the money and somehow they want to pay you a lot of a finder's fee for that? No, that's not the norm. Most of these small business owners are not fundable. They don't have a fundable business. And worse yet, a lot of them don't even know what it takes to be fundable. Thus, if our goal is for your branch to make profit and generate sales by enrolling clients, then we need to be able to explain to the prospective clients what you and I do. So they say, yep, I want to enroll, they want to enroll, and they want to pay you. So that sounds kind of obvious, but we need to keep that in mind. I believe that this sheet, this one pager with some edits. Now you'll want to make edits. We've provided, every one of you that's asked for it, we've provided you an editable version. So would you want to hand this flyer out as it is? No. One of the things that you'd want to do here at the bottom left-hand corner, actually all of this, is change your call to action. So for your branch's version of this flyer, you would put in your information and direct them either to your number or your email or your website, whatever it is that you want. So obviously, you want to change that call to action using the editable version that we provided you. In terms of this content, I don't know that any of this needs to be changed. I think you're probably fine. to go to the marketplace with this as it stands. In terms of what we call the swoosh here, the arrow and the phases, I believe the content is good. I don't know that you would need to change any of the content, but you may want to change some of the graphics. Most specifically, as you're enrolling clients and they're having success stories, you may want to interject or reflect some of those. So for instance, we talked about the 911, which isn't a big deal. Anyone can go get a Porsche, but the bottom line is this is a real car that is sitting in our real garage that we bought using real business credit following the process. So it's evidence that the process works. As you are having clients go through the process and we're getting them company automobiles, I wouldn't be using our Porsche, I'd be using your clients, right? Or as your clients' automobiles, business automobiles. So that's the point, that you could very well customize this along the line based upon your clients' experiences. With that being said, I think what's instrumental when you're using this document to educate prospects is understand that you want to clarify that there's, first of all, immediate benefit. We live in a society where people want immediate benefits. The way that this has evolved, we are providing them immediate benefits as labeled here, so in the first bullet, and then also here in phase one. So as clients are coming in now, we're asking them, as soon as they enroll, do you want a first tranche of financing, a first tranche of funding? And if so, we're getting them funding offers typically within 24 hours of enrollment and funding in their pocket, in their bank account, within 7 days. So that is something that I think probably you'll want to emphasize. I think some of us struggle with that, right? Because I think we know that our real goal is to help clients get over here and get large amounts of business funding. That's where we're trying to get to. That's our goal, and that's what we will do. However, this is a 30 to 60-day process normally to go through the 4 phases. Well, that's reasonable, but I think you're going to run into a lot of clients that they don't really want to wait 30 to 60 days. They want instant results. Well, the more fundable they are, the quicker we can go. But the point is now, with this positioning, we can get them their first tranche, shown here in the picture, described on this bullet, right away. So let's have a strategy discussion. We've got a bunch of CEOs on the call today. Who of you have any questions regarding how we can get first tranche financing for every one of your clients immediately, so they see value right away? Because again, over here is where we're trying to get to, but this takes 30 to 60 days. We need to show these folks that there's immediate value, that they enroll and they start seeing benefits right away. Does anyone have any questions or comments on what that is, how that works, the process? If you do, just type that into the Q&A, the question and answer box. All right, so Emmanuel, good morning, Emmanuel. Emmanuel has the first question. What are examples of first tranche financing? So with first tranche financing, and we had a separate training on this, but let's just summarize now. That's where we have a simple one-page app from the client. We're able to put that into our system, no hard inquiries, and generate funding offers for them. The typical client will get 6 to 8 cash funding offers. So no, we're not talking about credit cards or net 30 accounts or anything like that. We're specifically talking about cash offers that they qualify for now. They can accept the offers they want. They can decline those that they don't. So that's what that is. And then Mr. Barchi brings up a good point. So while our goal is to get everyone through these 4 phases and get large amounts of business funding, When we're getting them their first tranche, it's obviously based upon their baseline credibility, right? Because we've not built a fundable business yet. We're going to do that, of course, but what we're talking about is the first thing out of the chute, immediately getting them funding. So Mr. Barchi's right. The amount that they get will be based upon their circumstances. We have some people that get approved for 5,000. We have some that get approved for 25,000, some for 50,000, a few for over 100,000. It just varies, but it's based upon what they bring to the table. And then from there, of course, we're going to build a fundable business. So this isn't the end goal. This is just meant to give you an extra arrow in your quiver. So when you're trying to close that deal, get the client enrolled, that they know that immediately we can get them funding offers. But that's not the end goal. So with that being said, then of course, what we're showing them is what we do. And so it's true that this is what we do. These are the phases we go through. We help them have a foundation of a fundable business. So they have working capital. We provide them a free commercial address, which is mentioned over here. We form an entity for them for free if they need, which is mentioned over here. We help them get their EIN and bank account, which again is mentioned over here. So phase one is building the foundation of a fundable business. Not fundable yet, but it's the foundation. Without that, then there's nowhere else to go. So we knock this out, and this can happen very quickly. So they're seeing results fast. So then we get over to phase two. Now we're building the business creditworthiness of their EIN, of the entity. I think a lot of entrepreneurs understand that, at least superficially. They see some value in that. But what you want to do is show them, tell them that they're going to see benefits immediately from this, which means we're going to be helping them add trade lines. And I'll tell you, if you're not out talking about trade lines, you're really missing some very what we'll call trade lines a hot button. It's a great conversation starter with a lot of individuals. They're seeking trade lines. Not everyone understands trade lines, but those that do are out there looking for trade lines. And we don't charge for trade lines, right? So then, of course, we explain on the graphic the different types of trade lines that they can get. And then we just have a couple token graphics just to make it visual, because some people like pictures, right? So can we get you a company car? Can we get you company credit cards? Sure. We work with each client to put together a portfolio of the trade lines that they want. So nothing's being forced on them, but we know we're going to add at least 4 FOUR. We need at least 4 trade lines under the EIN to have a PAYDEX score through Dun & Bradstreet. So what's the point here? We're trying to give you some tips of what to bring specific attention to so your clients see the tangible value, right? If they enroll, they're going to get funding offers immediately. If they enroll, we're going to make sure that they have a fundable business. If they enroll, we're going to take that business and make sure it's creditworthy. And part of what we're going to do is help them add trade lines at no cost. And those trade lines could be real estate, company autos, and business credit cards. And those are all real, of course. So let's pause again. Now we've covered phase 1 and phase 2, what it is, but specifically trying to identify what it is that could better persuade your prospective client to sign up, to pay, and move forward. Because it's what they get, right? Some people say, well, people like to do business with people that they like. Well, that's fine, but I think primarily the decision that your prospects are going to have is, do they understand how you're going to help them? And this graphic shows in pretty good detail the process and what we're going to do. And it also shows them the outstanding value proposition. Funding right away, right? Trade lines right away. And then, of course, we'll continue on to phase 3 and 4 in just a second. All right, so Mr. Barchi has a follow-up question on size of trade lines. So he's right, size matters. In general, the larger the trade line, the better, but it needs to fit the client's mitigating circumstances, right? So when we got the company Porsche we picked up 2 days ago, it was 147,000, I think. So, that's a decent trade line that's reporting under the EIN, 147,000. That's big, right? So bigger, the better in terms of trade lines. Real estate could be even larger depending upon what they want. Real estate could easily go into the millions. Credit cards, business credit cards, I'd say the average size of a business credit card's 10,000. Could be larger. But the bottom line is they need trade lines to have a credible business, and we can guarantee them trade lines. Now, which trade lines they'll get and the size, we can't make generic guarantees. That's too good to be true. But we do promise, we guarantee that they'll get at least 4 trade lines. And that's what we need to build out a Paydex score. So then that takes us over to phase 3, building strong financials. You're going to have some astute prospects and some not so financially astute prospects. Your more business savvy prospects are going to really understand this and really, really appreciate it. When you have people that are not so financially literate, to them, they may just want to dismiss it. It's like, oh no, it's a new business, it doesn't matter. But they just don't know. Don't be mad at them. They just don't know what they don't know. What you and I know is the strength of our financials are directly impacting of our ability to get funding. So on the graphic, it clarifies, it creates a strong business financials to qualify for business funding. Here's where that 10,000 transfer comes in. So again, what do we want to be doing? We want to be clarifying to the client, here's the value that you get. Sure, we're going to create a fundable business so we can go get lots and lots of business funding. Sure, that's where we're going. But every step of the way, you're seeing tangible benefits, right? First tranche funding offers here for them to select from, trade lines here, and then they're getting the 10,000 transfer. No, of course, that's the same as what was referenced over here, the quick cash. So what you and I know that not everyone knows is that a strong balance sheet is important and it provides collateral for loans. And then of course we help them liquidate the receivables. The purpose of this graphic is just simply to give a picture that in a simple picture, it summarizes what we're talking about. Certainly it doesn't tell much, but it's just a summary. So who has questions on phase 3? So we're partially building financial literacy because we're letting them know, what does it take to have a fundable business? Well, you have to have a good foundation of a business. We need business credit worthiness. We need strong business financials. Then we go to funding. That's what it takes. And then also at the same time, we're showing them how we help them accomplish that practically. I mean, some people will inquire, but they're scared to death of being scammed. They're scared to death of losing their money. So this can effectively show them there is no risk, right? It'll work 100% of the time, and you're getting value from day one. You're getting value in every phase of the process. So certainly then we get over to phase 4. Now we're ready to apply for business funding. Why? Because we have a fundable business. People will sometimes say, well, why don't we just go straight to phase 4? Great. If you have a fundable business, sign up with you. They can sign up. And if they want to go immediately to business funding, fine with us. But if they don't have a good foundation, if they don't have business credit worthiness and they don't have strong financials, they're going to be declined. But yeah, I mean, if you want to make the offer to clients, hey, sign up and we'll go apply for business funding within 1 business day. You can make that promise, but obviously understand that unless they're fundable, they're not going to get approved. That's why we have a process and to complete these steps. So what's your feedback on using this graphic, this 1-pager, and helping your prospects understand how you can help them? Andrew, what is your feedback? Mr. Barchi, what is your feedback? Eric, go ahead and type in your feedback. I'm asking in Q&A. Go ahead and type it in Q&A. Let's get some conversation going. Emmanuel, your feedback. Jeanette, Jenny's having an awesome week. Looks like she'll finish the week over 10 clients enrolled. Justin, Kenya, Mr. Johnson, you're a rock star. Would love your feedback. Pauline, Pearlie, Richard, Rosalind, Sanya, Terrence, Tolly, Trevor, Varney. We have 320, so I won't say all names, but what's the feedback that you have, the candid feedback? Go ahead and type it into the Q&A box, and let's have a little dialogue. The great thing is we provide you an editable version. So if there's something about it that you feel like that you want to change, you can change it. Obviously, you'll be changing your call to action to match whatever you want them to do. Typically, you'll want them to call you. That's normally what you want to do. And then once they call you, you want to make sure they have this in front of them. So you might want to email it to them or text it to them, and then walk them through it. Just simply walk them through. And what you will do is you're building financial literacy. What does it take to become fundable for business funding? And secondly, you're explaining what we're going to do to help them get there. And then number three, which is maybe the most important in closing the deal, is that they're seeing what they're going to get each phase. It's tangible, it's real, there's no risk to the client. All right, so getting some feedback. Emmanuel says, I like the pictorial graphic that gives potential clients an idea of the process. Great. And I think it's good for you all as branches, as distribution partners, to know what is the process we go through. Richard says he thinks it's a good template and he'll test it out at his workshop. Richard's doing a workshop today, midday, and I think he has 20 people registered for it. So great job, Richard. So Richard's right. This could, in fact, be the content of a workshop that you give for multiple people. You could put this up on a screen, or you could print it out, preferably in color, and hand it out and walk people through it. And if you wanted to make it more interactive, then you could have a little questionnaire. Do you, after you've gone through it, do you have a strong foundation for a fundable business? Yes or no? Do you have a credit-worthy business? Yes or no? Do you have a business with strong business financials? Yes or no? If they give you 3 yeses, then they have a fundable business. And they should definitely enroll, because we can go right to funding. But if they answer no to any of those, then that means they really, really need your help, because they don't have a fundable business. So I don't know, Richard, if you've considered that, but you could have just an evaluation form or a survey, or just a document that gets their feedback on where they're at. And it's okay if they say no, no, no. That's not bad. That means great. You're a perfect fit for the program. Then you could benefit from every phase. You might have someone that responds and says, well, I have some of this. Well, great. If you have some of it, great. Then we can supplement what's missing, and then we can go to funding even quicker. If anyone needs a copy of this editable one with the new graphics, just email us. I'm not able. I've had like 16 of you so far in the Zoom ask for it via the chat or the Q&A. I'm not that good at taking notes on the fly, but just email us and we can get you. And of course, on chapmanloanprogram.org, you have our phone number, you have our email, and so forth. So with that being said, I think this is an incredibly practical tool that I hope that you all will consider using. You need to have profit in your branch. You need to be enrolling clients and making money. If not, what's the point? A business has to be profitable to be sustainable. So each of you have the solution to help so many people have a fundable business and get funding. And you get paid a ton for it, right? You're getting paid up front. You're getting paid a performance fee for every tranche. So let's say that Jenny enrolls a client, and their first tranche, let's say Jenny enrolls Rosalind, and Rosalind's first tranche is $10,000. Well, if Jenny's performance fee is 10%, then Jenny gets paid another 1,000 off of Rosalind's first tranche, right? So what's great is it's like being a realtor. Every time the client has funding, you're getting paid again because you're creating value for the client. Now, the big payday comes from over here, but pretty much no one wants to wait just for this. And so now maybe you have a better understanding of what we do, the steps, and how the clients are getting value every step along the way. All right, well, that's it for today. We'll see you back Monday morning. Please let us know if there's anything that we can do to assist you. Go out and let's enroll a client today. Bye-bye.